Good morning, everybody. It's Emily. It is September 27th, Wednesday. And shocker, for the rest of this week, I have decided to take some vacation days from my day job with the animal rescue. So at first, I was like, I'm taking vacation from everything. I'm not even doing readings. But guess what? I really like to do readings, so we're going to do readings. This is awesome for me though because I have had zero boundaries between myself and work for about 9 years, and we're always talking about confronting karmic issues. Me and my relationship with work is my big karmic issue. Well, one of my big karmic issues, because it kind of goes down to self-worth and perfectionism and things like that I really have an issue with. So I am working very hard on that. And part of that was taking a vacation and forcing myself to really do it. So there will be no animal rescue work until Monday. I should probably chill out on the readings too, but I just really wanted to do a couple today. So I'm going to actually do a messages from your divine compliment reading today, which is really out of character for me, but I just felt like doing it. So we're going to go with the flow. So I've drawn the cards just before starting this recording, and there are 4 messages here. I like to put them in pairs, so 2 cards per message. And the bottom of the deck, just to give you an indication of what we're in for here, is the card called Sacrifice, Orpheus and Eurydice. And that to me is really about making the choices that we need to make to move forward in our paths and move forward in your relationship with your divine complement. And that might mean sacrificing something that you care about or that you have had in your life for a very long time that maybe isn't good for you. So like a perfect example is me forcing myself to make a break from my work, which I obviously am extremely passionate about and care about because I started the business, I'm the founder, and have grown it, and it helps an immense number of people and animals, but I also need to not kill myself with it. So I feel like that's the kind of energy behind the choices that some of us are being forced to make right now. So with that said, the messages start with the Prince of Staves and the 7 of Arrows. And to me, I get that one right in the heart because I feel like they're, your counterpart or complement is wanting to really move forward and come forward to you with some information or with with their energy and bring their energy forward more, and be very honest with you and have start sort of a new thing with you. However, there's a lot of caution. There's a lot of things that you don't even know about, we don't know are happening right now necessarily, and steps need to be taken very quietly and cautiously in order to make the transition a smooth one. So we just need to continue in this patience and kind of sacrifice our need for constant validation in order for that to move forward smoothly. Sorry, I needed a drink again. And this, again, might not resonate with everybody. Everybody's in different stages of their journey. But these are the ones that I'm getting for today. This is the group that I'm relating to today. I'm also getting that they really want to be honest with you, actually. There's a real desire to share what's going on because it's actually become kind of a burden. It's really become like an unwieldy burden. I don't know if you've ever seen that meme of it says something like me trying to do 10 things at once or something like that, and it's this guy walking out to his car with a bucket and like a hose and sponges and shit, and he trips and it just everywhere, it goes everywhere. And that's kind of the feeling, they want to move forward and talk to you about this because you're the person they want to share it with, but they can't because of the sleeping giant in the back, or the sleeping, snake in the back, or whatever. And that doesn't mean that, whatever is going on there is necessarily bad or malevolent or something like that, but it's just like there is good reason for caution in order to not be too hasty and not set things up for failure, because you want to set things up for success. And so that means that there's still time that's needed. It might also be that there's a lot of healing that's still needed for both individuals. There's a lot of burden to be dropped, a lot of hidden emotions and wounding that needs to be opened up to, recognized, addressed, and released. So there's a lot of people, ooh, I'm feeling that one hard, like in my energy right now. So I know that that one relates directly to me. There's still a lot of wounding that I have to release personally. So I think that any of you that are resonating with me, this is probably also your issue. And that, we might be we might be aware of it, but we might not exactly be looking directly at it just yet. We've been looking directly at a lot of it, and I see, she set down 2 of these arrows. So she's dealt with some of it, but she's still holding on to a lot of it, but looking straight ahead like, oh, are these here? Oh, what was that? I didn't even notice. And guess what? We have to notice. We have to do this. That's the point. That is the entire point. Like, none of the rest of this is the point. The point is the healing. So be very honest with yourself about what you are still concealing from yourself before, so that, that's going to start open the pathway to movement forward in a passionate way. So the next message I'm getting is the Power card with the 10 of Arrows. So couple messages coming through. So the Power card is Arthur and Guinevere. And the thing about Arthur and Guinevere is, like, their relationship was not always perfect. Like, in some ways, I don't think it was, it wasn't like that Camelot that people always talk about. It wasn't that perfect relationship. Like, there was a struggle there. There was a big struggle there. And there was coldness there. And it's almost like, this points to that, like, with the 10 of Arrows, I feel like this is just sort of the herald of, like, the end of different karmic situations, whether it be an actual relationship or someone like me who is trying to end my relationship, my sick and demented relationship with work. That, our self-worth is not found in our relationship with another person or thing or job, career, or title. It's found within, and it's important for us, like, that cycle needs to end in order for you to step into the new one. And that is, again, the point. We need to allow this healing to occur before our energy is, like, prepped for bringing in the right version of your divine complement. I'm trying to see if there's anything else there. I get a big breakdown of tradition. So that's ending too. There's a big shift in the paradigm, which I have talked about a million times. And I think that everybody listening, most people listening to this, is not unaware of this. But there's a huge break with tradition and a change in the structure of the way that we view relationships and the way that we deal with relationships and the way that we relate really to everybody. We're not just talking about romantic relationships, but parents. How do we deal with parents? How do we accept their authority and or right to exert authority over us? Is this really an ethical or moral question, or are these relationships which also have to have equal give and take? Same with career. Are these things, is career something that we should sacrifice ourselves to? Or is it something where, again, there needs to be an equal give and take? The structure of society is changing. The way that we have conducted our lives in the past are built on this false paradigm that martyring yourself is somehow better or good. And that is, I was brought up Catholic. I still actually participate in the Catholic faith, even though I am way out there. Like, if anybody even knew, oh my God, they would not even let me in the door. But I literally don't care. Like, that's my breakdown of the structure. But anyway, that sort of idea is based in Christianity, and there are other structures that are breaking down as well. Structures of power. We have the power card here. The rich having the top 1% of the entire nation having the most control over all the money and therefore everything else, or money even being the thing that controls us. All that is coming to an end. It's coming to a conclusion, and a new cycle is going to be beginning. The fact that it's 10 arrows doesn't just tell me that it's ending. It tells me that it is probably an ending to a very painful and very difficult situation. So that in itself is relief. So please know that, at least. And so I went off on a tangent reading these cards, but since we're talking about messages from our divine complement, this is that person recognizing that this thing is wrapping up in their life, whatever it may be, and that they see and recognize the ending of it. The next set of cards is the Ace of Arrows with the Two of Coins. And I think that relates to this previous message in saying that I have clarity now. I have real truth in understanding the choice that I have to make, and understanding that that there really is no choice, that I know the direction in which I need to go, but I'm still balancing these things because it is a huge freaking mountain to climb. I'm looking at the mountain in the background of this picture, but I'm seeing that one of the hearts is gray and one of the hearts is red. And to me, that's like saying, I know one of these is a living truth, and I know one of these is dead matter. And so, I have made the choice. I have clarity with the Ace of Arrows. But man, is this a big ass mountain to climb. So I think in that case, you just have to understand that at least the realization there, the the truth is there and revealed itself and has been, understood. But then you have to have some level of compassion for the situation that person is finding themselves in, whatever it may be. Again, not to keep talking about myself, but I do feel like for myself, there is a choice to be made about to what extent I'm willing to continue to sacrifice much of my life for my rescue career. I mean, I have given every ounce of myself to it, and it's not healthy. So I'm recognizing that, and I know that, I'm facing a choice between that, my healing work, and my life. So I deserve to be able to balance all of those things in my situation. That may be an additional message coming through the Two of Coins, but there has to be some choices made, because right now, there's a severe imbalance in my life, in the sense that, the people and the situations and the business of the animal rescue has taken a massive toll on me and my health and my mind and my energy and all of my relationships. And it takes up every waking moment, practically. So for whoever you are watching this reading for, they may be in a similar situation where they're aware of the choice and they have clarity on which way to go with it. I do have some of my own clarity So it's just having the courage then to make that decision. So I can really relate to people going through this. The next set of cards is Love, which is the Lover's card, Isis and Osiris, and the Nine of Arrows. And I think that also relates here in saying that, the Lover's card not only can refer to the sort of obvious, these are like your prototypes of the divine complements, right? It's Osiris and Isis. However, this can also obviously represent a choice, and we were just talking about choices and needing to make them, and like the torment that can be involved in making such a big choice. Even after you have clarity, there's still such a degree of strength and courage that's required to actually follow through on what you know to be true. So I feel like that's really where a lot of people are. That's exactly where I am in my situation. That this situation may be bringing you both incredible pain and unbelievable bliss. And so that's kind of the paradox that's going on here. But that's because we're not in either one of the situations. We're in that in-between place. We're in that place where we need to step into our power and make that decision to be able to and turn it into the physical, make that decision in the physical world and move forward to step out of that Nine of Arrows energy completely and completely step into the energy of love. And again, whatever that situation might be, it doesn't always mean somebody else's relationship or something like that. There's an unbelievable amount of struggle going on while all of us are shedding our addictions and unhealthy thought patterns. That is a big one right now. They wanted me to mention unhealthy thought patterns, which also relates directly back to the Nine of Arrows. So one of the things that's blocking this for some of your compliments is the unhealthy thought pattern of codependency or low self-worth, feeling that they're not good enough, perfectionism, wanting everything to be just perfect, not wanting to confront people because you feel like you're hurting someone. All of those things are blocking this right now from moving forward, and I feel like this is their way of expressing, even after admitting that they know the truth, saying this is really freaking hard. This is the hardest thing I have ever done. And again, we need to look at that from another perspective, because the Sacrifice card from the bottom of the deck is really the Hanged Man card. So I want to take that to the next level and say, let's look at this from another perspective. Let's look at this from the perspective of compassion, because that is going to help move things as opposed to us getting frustrated, which is just going to continue to block things. So let me get another card for you guys. I keep going back to the Journey of Love because there's some nice descriptions in these cards. So let me shuffle them really quickly for everybody. All right. The Light Field is the card. Number 63, and I'm just going to read it from the book. Okay, the Light Field. You are very open to the other side. The veil that separates the worlds is very fine for you, and there is much love in your heart, and love exists beyond all barriers, including those of time, distance, and even death. If you wish to communicate with those that have passed on, do so through your heart. If you want to communicate energetically with your beloved, even though you are separated in physical location, then you can do so now. If your psychic abilities are opening and you need confirmation or reassurance, accept this message of guidance as being such. Those who have passed can be received fully and peacefully into the light, into the love. And your love guides them home. The messages you sense in your own heart that come from unconditional love, that uplift and reassure, can be trusted. The light is so close to you, beloved, it surrounds you as glow from within. This oracle brings you guidance that you are connecting with a field of awareness that is real and that you are protected by light as you do so. It's confirming that there is nothing for you to fear and that those that have passed on or will pass in the future will always be safely held in love. It's also confirmation that there are very real bonds that connect you to your loved ones, past, present, and future, and that are beyond the confines of time and space. And the poem is, when I'm in love, I am not afraid to be any part of me. I let it all be free for the world to know, and when I'm ready to love, I will create a reflection of who I am, and we will shed our fears, complete our past, and trust our love to be our guide. So, couple things from that. The first is that I feel like this is confirmation that you are indeed on the right path, that you're following your ascension path, and that, if you are having a time of separation right now, which I am going to assume that you are if you're here needing these messages, that your energy is still communicating. And the other part is, I feel like maybe the poem at the end was the biggest message we had to receive, which I now suddenly forgot what it was. 63. And that is that I'm not afraid to be any part of me. I let it all be free for the world to know. Because that is really what we need to do. We're still holding these 7 arrows. We're still hiding certain things away and refusing to even acknowledge them ourselves. So as we acknowledge those and as our counterparts acknowledge those things, then you become free to be who you are. And who you are is who they are. And who we all are is who all the rest of us are. We're all mirroring each other. And so as you heal yourself, they heal. As you heal yourself, we all heal. And it is a freaking amazing journey. So I hope this is helpful for some of you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.